Welcome back. You're watching Overdrive. The third generation BMW X1 has been on our shows for the past 6 months. It is bigger than the previous generation model and is a lot more luxurious on the inside. But does it drive as well? Let's find out.
This is the new BMW X1, the third generation model. Like the 2 Series Grand Coupe or even the outgoing X1, this one is based on the ULK2 platform or the Unterer Klasse platform in German, which simply translates to lower class. But then with a price tag of 45 to 50 lakh rupees, it's anything but lower class. But it is the most low-cost crossover that you can buy from BMW at the moment. And I think this just might be the best buy in the segment. Is it? Let's find out. For starters, the U11 model looks bigger than the F48 or the second generation X1 that it replaces. It is almost as big as the first generation X5. And if I got a penny for every time people thought this was an X3, I could be able to afford a new X1 for myself. The pinched and sleek window line, which still has a bit of that Hofmeister kink, the long and the slim roof rails, and the short overhangs enhance the sense of length, while the 3D LED taillights that stick out from the bodywork add a perception of width. There are some expensive touches too, like the carpet lighting. The headlights are the adaptive LED type and have a brilliant throw and spread. The M Sport wheel also gets you paddle shifters behind the wheel, however they are a bit of a reach, especially if you have smaller fingers. And speaking of reaching out, your co-passenger may find it particularly uncomfortable to reach out to the media or the navigation menus if you were to ask for their help. Because you see, like most BMW cars, the touchscreen or the dashboard is driver-centric. It's all angled towards the driver. Like most new BMW cars, most of the controls have now been put into the unintuitive iDrive system, and they have been taken off. The physical buttons have been taken off. And unlike most new BMW cars, the jog dial has been taken out too. So once you got your way around the infotainment and the different menus, you could easily use that jog dial. It was a convenient and a safe tool to use all of that without really having to take your eyes off the road. But that tool has now gone missing with the new X1. The plus side to redesigning the tunnel console is more storage space. You get a floating upper deck which can house some knickknacks, a shelf below it for other small items. Then there are 2 cup holders, 2 USB-C ports and a unique upright wireless charger. Then we come to the rear seat. Now the rear doors, they look a little narrow from the outside, but ingress and egress is not a problem at all. In fact, this convenience is one of the reasons why you would choose a crossover over a sedan in this particular space. Now, in terms of the rear seat comfort, not too bad at all. I mean, the cushioning is quite good. I like the overall cushioning, not just for the bottom, but also for the back. The knee room is excellent. The driver's seat is set to my preference, and just look at the kind of space it offers. This wasn't available in an entry-level crossover until a few years back, but now you get that in this space as well. Headroom, again, excellent. You get that panoramic roof, so it's a nice, airy feel. You do get a center armrest, a floating type. You do get 2 cup holders here as well. But like I said, the overall comfort is quite nice. But the party trick, especially with the M Sport trim, is that you also get 130 millimeters of recline for these seats. Even the boot volume is fairly large to accommodate a family's luggage, and a flat floor makes it easy to load and unload. Honestly, I haven't driven the petrol variant of the new X1. However, looking at the kind of downsized engines that the Germans have been plonking in many of their cars now, I know that that petrol engine, despite what it says on the spec sheet, is going to be adequate. It is going to perform as expected. However, I also know that the size to price ratio is true not only for the exterior dimensions of the car, but also for the engine size, for the engine capacity. So, like the A-Class or the new C-Class, even for the X1, the diesel is going to be the better option. The diesel is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that is extremely refined and silent, and you will have to look at the tachometer to know that this is a diesel, though the 6000 RPM red line might still confuse you. Unlike some of the other BMW cars, it doesn't even say diesel on the fuel gauge, but it's a nice, silent, refined engine. So the tachometer is the only way to know that this is a diesel. But it's not just the refinement, even the power. This one puts out 150 PS compared to the 136 PS in the petrol. Now, one of the things that the India spec X1 misses out on is all-wheel drive. You do not get the X-Drive variants just yet. All you get is the S-Drive variants, whether you're choosing petrol or diesel, which means that you get a front-wheel drive configuration. Now, like the 2 Series Grand Coupe, it is a very nicely tuned front-wheel drive configuration. Of course, it doesn't feel as nice to drive as an X3 or an X5, etc. But even for a front-wheel drive, it is quite nicely tuned. There is an assistance feature as well, so especially when you are driving around tight winding roads like these. Now, I am at moderate speeds, but if you were to go a little faster, start going a little quicker, start going hotter into turns, despite being a front wheel drive, with that assistance feature, it will try and make the turn-ins as tight as it can and get you a good control over the car. The sport mode will also make the diesel powertrain punchier still, making it feel like a 150 PS car. Another area where the diesel engine again pips the petrol is the 0 to 100 times as well, so that higher power, higher torque actually translates to half a second quicker outright acceleration. What you also get with this 7-speed ZF DCT transmission is a boost mode with the paddle shifters. Simply long press on the downshifter paddle and it will engage the boost mode, which lets the powertrain remain in its power band for 10 seconds to help you get that strong serving of power and torque to pull a quick overtake or barrel down a straight road at speed. So like I said, be it ride quality on poor road conditions, be it handling around winding roads, be it sheer engine performance from the diesel of course, be it sheer cabin size, be it cabin comfort, be it creature comforts, be it features, be it safety features, in all these departments, the X1 actually pips all of its competition. And while doing all of that, it is still priced very competitively against all of them. So you see, there's no reason why I shouldn't call this the best in class.
Well, on that note, it's time for us to take our final break here on the show, but come right back because on the other side, we tell you all about the new QJ Motor SRK 400.
Straight.